Worry about the camera, just look at me and
Sure.
it'll do its thing.
Right.
So you're Steve Gaynor
Yes, my name's Steve Gaynor. I'm running for governor
of the state of Arizona.
of the great state of Arizona.
And how many times have you been on down to Yuma? You're here today.
Oh, I've been down many times. This is the first time as a candidate, but when I ran for Secretary of State in 2018, I came down a number of times.
Okay, nice. And
Yeah.
you described this as kind of a fact-finding mission about the border. Right? You're doing other things as well.
I am.
What questions did you have when you came down here, and what has been answered so far?
The last time I came down was during President Trump's administration, and I knew that things had changed a lot, but I didn't know it was as bad as it was today. I went behind the wall and saw what was the refuse of thousands of people. Everything from syringes to passports. People were ditching their identity to come into our country. And I talked with some people, and I had people who could translate for me, and most of these people are not Mexican origin. They're from Venezuela, they're from Cuba, and they're from a lot of other countries like Uzbekistan. There was a whole contingent of military-age men who were from the Middle East. It was disconcerting at least. The Biden administration is just it's beyond a terrible job. Dereliction of duty. They have a responsibility to uphold our laws in this country, and they're not doing it. And as governor, I will do everything, use every power of the office that I can to stop what's going on at the border.
Could that potentially include, in Texas, Governor Abbott has used his powers to finish parts of the wall?
Yes.
Is that something you would consider doing?
Oh, absolutely, where I can. Where it's illegal to do that, I absolutely would. But I will tell you that building a wall is not a quick process. And I've been around construction most of my life, so I know what's involved. What we need to do at the beginning is surge law enforcement and stop people from just trampling through fields and just coming into our country unfettered. We have a lot of people who aren't even stopped by the Border Patrol. They're very outnumbered, undermanned, and we need to beef up our own resources in the state. DPS, the Sheriff's Department, I had a great conversation with Sheriff Wilmot, and we will work with the people in law enforcement all across the border.
And there's those gaps at the dam, obviously, but then there's also sections here in Yuma County and also near Tucson that are there are reservations for Native Americans, that there's
Yes.
big gaps there
Yes.
that would not be as easy to put up a wall. And you said that the wall isn't a simple solution, but is working with those tribes something you're thinking about, or in terms of closing off those gaps?
Right. Well, my first choice is to work with the tribes. That's what I would try to do. In certain situations, my impression is that it won't be so easy to do that. And if that's the case, what we have to do is make it as hard as possible for the cartels to be successful. And if that means patrolling areas around the reservation, that's what we'll do. Because for the cartels, this is an economic issue. And if we can make it hard for them to be successful in Arizona and more costly, they'll go someplace else. And that's what I want to see. We can't save the whole country, but we can save Arizona, and we can make it more difficult for them to be successful here.
So outside the border, you're doing some other stuff in Yuma today. Did you go to the food bank, or is that on the...
No, I didn't go to the food bank today, but I've met with people in the agricultural industry. I met with John Schwan, who's the head of the border crossing here in Customs. To me, agriculture is a vital part of Arizona, and I've done a lot of talking with people about water and water issues. The Biden administration passes $1 trillion bill for infrastructure, and not a penny went for desalination plants off the coast of California. It's not just an Arizona issue. The whole West is dry. We need to take pressure off the Colorado River, and I will push and work with our congressional delegation, Democrat or Republican, to get federal resources involved. And also, Governor Ducey has made a great start making an investment in desalination in Mexico, and that's something that I would continue.
And you are visiting with Mayor Nichols in just a little bit.
Yes.
Are you expecting to speak with him about today?
Yeah. Well, there are a number of issues, everything from education to law enforcement to the business community and commerce here in Yuma. Yuma's having, like a lot of Arizona, a spurt of growth. We need to support that, and we need to make good choices about how we support that with infrastructure investments. So I'll be talking with the mayor about all those things.
And overall, we're now in the actual year of the election.
Yes.
How do you just feel about where you stand currently?
Oh, I think I'm in great position. Toward the latter part of last year, most of my time was devoted to redistricting. I had a nonprofit entity called Fair Maps Arizona to try to make sure that we got good district boundaries both for legislative and congressional districts. I think we accomplished that. Now my focus is entirely on the governor's race. And for me, the governor position is the CEO of Arizona. And that's what I've done for more than 30 years, is be the CEO of a business. I want to bring my business skills to the state and help us grow and improve. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Well, then I guess one of the things that I saw on your website was talking about elections and the security of our elections.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk over the weekend in Florence.
Yes.
With President Trump was there, and one of your opponents, Carrie Leak, as well as Paul Gosar, who represents part of Yuma County.
Right.
They said a lot of things regarding the election audit, still casting doubt on the results of the presidential election. What are your thoughts on some of those remarks, as well as just where you see election security at right now in Arizona?
When I ran for Secretary of State in 2018, I knew that the way elections were run in the state was not the greatest. And accident of fate, my business was printing security documents like cashier's checks for banks and other institutions. So I know a lot about security documents, about printing, storing, processing. We can improve. I know there are questions about the 2020 election. I'm not looking backward, I'm looking forward. I'm working with the legislature to try to improve our laws so that everyone has confidence in our elections. That's what we need to do. I'm very focused on it, and I'm actually involved with some legal action right now to try to force the Secretary of State to do what she is supposed to do to improve our election integrity. But in general, everyone needs to have confidence in our elections, and I know that's not the case now. I'm very focused on making improvements so that everyone does.
Anything else from your visit today in Yuma, or anything specifically for the people of Yuma that you're taking away from being here today?
Well, I live in Maricopa County, but my heart is in the rural parts of Arizona. I have a house in a rural area. I love the agriculture business and the military. Those are two parts of my family that are important to me, and so Yuma to me is an essential part of the state. I want to see Yuma be successful, and as governor I would do everything I could to make that happen.
Perfect. Anything else you want to mention?
That's it.
All right, perfect.